On this computer. There we are. Hello, everybody. This is Sarah Palmer from the Kensington Library.
This is Linda from Northeast Regional. And we're on 10.5, second week of talking about nothing but Japan. So I'm going to actually start out this week just sharing my PowerPoint of slides. Of a PowerPoint slide of photos I took while I was in Japan. All right.
Okay.
So next, Sarah, can I have Sarah actually be the person like Vanna White?
Yes.
So as I've mentioned, when you go to Japan, you have to first go to the ATM. And then that's a photo of an example on the right. On the left is a photo of coin currency. The one that you should probably be aware of is the one on the bottom right of the screen. That is a hyaku-en, which is 100 yen. So you definitely need those because that's equivalency of $1 in the US. So whenever you hear
ones that look like dimes?
They all look like dimes, pennies. It's like bottom of the pennies. It has a 100 on them.
Oh, no.
So one thing is that Japan really likes cash currency, all right? So next.
Okay.
This is examples of how coin lockers work in train stations. So you go up and you either pay with coin or with an app or with your iPhone, payless, cashless, depending on how new the coin lockers are. So you could use it to put like your purse, to put like your book bag, to put like any extra shopping you have, even down to your suitcase, all right? So next.
Do you have
any questions?
So a suitcase wouldn't be likely to fit in these ones, but
yes, they would. A suitcase is like as long as you get the right size of the suitcase, you can definitely slide it in. There are coin lockers big enough for it.
But these ones look like they're about a 1.5 by 1.5 or 2 foot by 2 foot.
Yeah. I did not take a one on the bottom, so I didn't take a vertical one. So, but I just took a kind of like profile picture of all the coin lockers that I saw.
So there are big ones below.
Oh, okay. I made use of it when I was on my second and third time. More so on my third time going to Japan.
Cool.
So next. Here is a photo of the map of a subway station of Eki. So there's a huge amount of gates that you can go to. So you might easily get lost trying to get it. But that's usually a space where people usually say, friends would say, meet me at gate so-and-so. And then you walk in that direction. And on the bottom right is a Suica card. It's kind of like our SEPTA card. Kind of like this, but you can actually load it with cash and coin currency. They're starting to go cashless, so you could also use your iPhone to pay for stuff. Next. This is a women's only train. So normally Japan has specific times where they would only allow females to ride in one car. And this signals the fact that Japan, it's very gender stratified, meaning that it's appropriate for females to go in one area versus men going in co-sex, all right? So normally in Japan, in Tokyo, it is early morning rush hour when they enforce women's only cars. In Osaka, it's different. They have women's only cars like specific, like all day. Okay?
Okay.
And so I was pretty comfortable with riding on women's only cars.
Yeah.
So next. Shinkansen, bullet train. And take a look. Isn't that majestic? You could get to it from specifically Tokyo Station. Any other station, you really can't get it at. So Tokyo Station.
Yeah.
And
when you were on the bullet train, can you really see the the countryside goes by so fast that you can't really see.
You could see it. You could see it. You could see like it's kind of like riding like Amtrak. You could actually see profiles of it. And it's really nice. I took some pictures from when I look outside, but it didn't look as impressive, except the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
I think maybe once or twice I was told that I could see Mount Fuji. I've never been to Mount Fuji, and all 3 times I've been to Japan. Mount Fuji was always cloudy, so I never get the chance to see it. Hopefully next time I get the chance to see it.
Yeah.
So next. Harajuku and Ikebukuro. So this is Harajuku. This is the most popular street. Everything is on this main strip of like what you see of Harajuku is here. But the street is quite narrow, so you would actually end up, there are things where you could actually get, what is that darn, when you get crowd stampedes, right? Because I think that happened once when there was a celebrity in the area.
That's scary.
It's kind of scary. And then on the bottom, this is where you would walk directly to Sunshine City / Ikebukuro. No, well, it is a picture of Ikebukuro. So, but this is a street that you will walk down to go to Otome Road.
Mhm.
So it's the street that's targeted towards Sunshine City. So if you ever go to Ikebukuro, you would look for signs directing you to Sunshine City. And from there you walk and you go across a highway, and then you get to go see Otome Road. So next.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Got confused for a moment there. Come on. Here we are. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Akihibara, Electric Town. This is it's not the iconic view of it, but this is like when you cross the street, you could see how many of the signs get plastered with so much advertisements. So does this look like Akihabara to you or no? Or should I have found a photo that had more maid cafes?
Well, since I have never been, I don't know how representative it is, but it's very colorful.
Yes, it is very colorful. So it's very vibrant, and you kind of don't see that when you go to other places like in Shinjuku, which is an amazing neighborhood also. You only see a lot of buildings. But so let's see next.
Okay, yep. Sorry. There we go. Oh.
Vending machines. Reaction. Vending machines. So what you can get is usually like Kit Kats. You could also get like soup cans. I don't know if you know warm soup that you could get in overnight. And so like during winter time, you could also, one of the unique features about vending machines is that you could get either hot or cold drinks. I'm not kidding. If you see a certain sign that says hot drinks, you could get hot drinks. If you see cold drinks, you get cold drinks. You could also get tobacco, like smoke cigarettes. You could get like bananas even.
So no need to show ID to get the cigarettes?
No need to show. Well, they kind of make, but no need to show, because oftentimes if a child is going to buy a cigarette for a father, why would you have to show ID? So other than that, I actually forgot to take a picture. I forgot to put the picture of the banana vending machine.
That's great.
So last time, what's up?
The Kit Kats are in a jar?
Yes, it is. It's in the glass jar. And other times, last time I went to Japan, right? I was on a vending machine journey, because I was trying to find the vending machine that would sell a drink that was -30 Celsius. Because it was so hot. It was so hot. I went last time I went in August, so it was too hot. So
I believe there's a story, I don't know if it's an anime or a live action, or just a manga of somebody who falls in love with a vending machine. Are you familiar with that?
That could be possible. That could be definitely possible. There was also a vending machine that sold used underwear, which got quickly very popular. See, you have that expression.
For the fetishists among us.
To the each their own.
Oh, yes. And so with all these glass jars and stuff, are there recycle bins handy?
There is. Oh, I forgot. I mean, you could kind of see it on the bottom right of there. There's like glass. There's like race baskets. You could actually put any recycled drink bottles into it.
Or
Because
Big Cat bottles, as the case may be.
yes. You could actually discard it. And also, I do have to say is that if you ever go to a gachapon machine, right?
Uh-huh.
Capsule ball machines, right?
Yeah.
If you're finished with getting out their items from the capsule machine, right?
Yeah.
You put the container on top of the baskets that's on top of the machines or to the side of the machine. Because they would take them and they reuse them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But then again, that also means that it was so hard to try and open a gachapon capsule.
Yeah.
Because it was like a
Well, because they're reused, it's harder to open them.
Yes, it is. Oh, it's also hyakuen. So I'm not kidding. That's why there's a love for hyakuen, because it uses it's like it's all encompassive. The vending machines, the gachapon machines, the what is this? The UFO machines. You know, the ones where the crane machines where you get all the plushies and all that stuff. Those are all hyakuen stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it's like kind of like soda machine, but vending machines. Like vending machines. So next.
Yeah, I'm sure those all of those things can add up. I'm just
Yes,
spending one coin on this, but it's
yes, it could. I've actually spent $50 before on trying to play a UFO machine.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. Oh well, can't do anything about it. So next.
Oh my.
Ramen and crepe. I bought so much. Oh, so ramen is, everyone has to know about ramen, right?
Yeah. Is that black stuff there seaweed? Dried seaweed?
Yes, it is. It's seaweed. So, and there's scallion. There's lots of scallions on this. This one I specifically got when I went to the ramen museum, because the ramen museum shows a lot of. It has a food court area where you could buy certain ramen from other parts of Japan when you're in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes with Tokyo Station. They have an alley where they showcase a lot of different types of varieties of ramen. Also, I forgot to show this, but when you go inside a ramen museum, right? No, ramen shop, right? They have coin vending machines outside. You could actually you actually put coin in to get a ticket. And then once you go into the ticket, you don't even have to say anything to the chef at all, the shop proprietor at all. You just hand him the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
But I do also have to mention this. Everything is in Japanese. So you have to take like a cheat sheet or a strategy guide in order so that way you could actually know what to press. Because a couple of times I had issues, and so I wasn't able to press it correctly. So the one on the bottom right is all the varieties of crepes. You could get sweet and sweet, a lot of sweet crepes, because I think in here, right, in the United States, they have a more French style. So it's more savory / sweet. Whereas in Japan, I think I noticed more fruit crepes.
Yeah.
What is your opinion, Sarah?
Well, I would say, again, I haven't experienced the ones in Japan themselves, but I have gone to Key World, which is a crepe place in our Chinatown in Philadelphia. And it also features it features savory, it features sweet, but some of the sweet have a lot of fruit. So I would say probably, the other thing is that it serves them in cones, in a cone shape, as opposed to just like a flat quesadilla style crepe, which is all, which you might serve in a restaurant.
Well, actually, they do roll up the crepes. This is just an example of how what filling menu. This is a menu.
Yeah.
Every single time I try to take a picture of a crepe, it just like it's like a big gigantic taco.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so
And I do recommend Tea World, and I'm not being I'm not being funded by them. So.
Okay. So next,
Okay. Oh.
okonomiyaki and kaiten sushi. So in Japan, you actually are able to make your own okonomiyaki because in the in New York specifically, if you there are okonomi shops, right? But it's always that the shop proprietors will make the okonomiyaki for you. So this happens to be like Osaka style, which a lot of people is more familiar with because that's a more popular type of crepe.
Yeah.
I actually like the Hiroshima
okonomiyaki.
style crepe.
Yeah.
Okonomiyaki. So it's featured a lot in anime and manga, and it's like known as the Japanese pizza. I actually like the Hiroshima style, which is not featured here.
Yeah.
Hiroshima style is said to be having more vegetables.
Oh, so that's the main difference.
That's the main difference.
Yeah.
And the way that the arrangement of it.
Yeah. You can actually buy okonomiyaki in the Philadelphia area at Maido.
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's now in Ardmore. Used to be in Ardmore. So
okay.
The Ardmore store is very convenient to the train.
Okay. So in the bottom right is conveyor belt sushi, kaiten sushi. So what you can see is the fact that every plate that the sushi is on determines how much you pay for it. You see there's a menu overhead on the right, on the top right is like, I did not take I took a clear picture of how much the prices are, but you could kind of see what it is. And so being in a conveyor belt sushi restaurant, it also adds up. It seriously adds up. Like $2, $3, $4, kind of in some prices. I think that's what you call it. That's how you call it. And so I think there is a conveyor belt shabu shabu place.
Interesting.
I just never went to it in Philadelphia's Chinatown.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't know there was any conveyor belt anything in Chinatown. So a vegetarian who came here is there anything in the way of vegetarian sushi?
There's kind of like that if you want to ask for cucumber sushi, or if you want to ask them, but majority of the time it's always fish, any type of
fish. Yeah.
Fish. Oh, you could actually get a parfait and pudding on this thing. No, actually you get pudding, like dessert cups on this thing, like fruit cups and all that stuff. You could also get that.
Well, that sounds.
And also you could get, you could get miso soup and different types of miso soup.
Yeah. I've got a question back on the ramen thing for a moment. So I know that there's a lot of debate about whether shio ramen or shoyu ramen is better. Is there any other kind?
Miso ramen.
Oh, miso ramen.
There's miso ramen. There's I think it also depends. I think at one time I had a beef. There's a pork broth base. There's a beef broth base. Miso has it. Also, one of the things, people with allergies like gluten or like milk, there is a lot of times in Japan they have difficulty differentiating between vegan or gluten-free stuff. All right. So please take care because I have a couple. Oh, and also seafood. A lot of people will not like seafoods. So people with that type of taste, there is gonna be some difficulty finding it. I forgot to mention this, but there's a lot of hot hamburger places in Japan. Also, though, I also have to mention though, their portions are a lot smaller than what we think of as is the right size of small, like a venti, like a, what is it? I don't even know. What is that small size in Starbucks?
A tall.
A tall. So when I went to Japan and Starbucks and I ordered a grande size, it was kind of like a tall size.
So no,
and they don't have they do not have venti, they do not have Trenta, and even the burgers, the drinks themselves, even in McDonald's, they don't have like extra big value size.
No
7-Eleven's
supersizing.
the same. Mhm. No supersizing, and 7-Eleven is definitely different in Japan.
Yeah.
It's only bottle drinks. Or
Can you,
bottle drinks and
can you show with your hands about how big the crepe would be?
crepe is like this.
And how tall?
How tall is like about this?
Okay, so that seems like par for the course with the Tea World crepes.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is that people like to eat them like meals.
Uh-huh.
And so you'll see a lot of young people would eat crepes.
Yes.
Old people, not really. You do not see older people eat it. Same thing goes with a lot of tourists. They will eat crepes.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a novelty thing for them as well.
Yeah. Well, it's also that culturally walking and eating is not as encouraged, at least among more traditional folks.
It's not. It's considered to be very rude. So whenever I eat like street foods like that, I actually walk to the side of the car and then I eat it when I'm standing there. Even when I went to Ueno Park and they had a lot of different street foods, I found the picnic table area and I just ate it there.
Yeah.
You do not eat on the run, on the walking run. You do not eat like that. Because when I was in New York,
in spite of all the anime of the first day of school where you see somebody with toast in their mouth running along.
Yes, you do not see that. That is rude. That is seriously rude. When I was in New York, I always ate on the run. Like I ate on the train. You cannot eat on the train. In fact, you cannot even talk on that loudly on the train because people don't like it when you talk. Also, cell phones are not really allowed to be talking on the train.
Right.
You could browse your phone, you could text people, but that's it. The train stations are very quiet.
Yeah.
As people, and also I find that in the trains, right, the Japanese people are so cool. They actually don't need to some people, they don't need to hold on to the handles. And when the train moves back and forth, they don't trip.
They don't
fall over
or lose their balance.
They don't.
Wow.
So next.
Okay. Oh.
Taiyaki.
Oh, that looks so good.
And parfaits. Taiyaki and parfaits. That's what I really. I mean, you could get taiyaki in the U.S. That is very sure. But you can't get the depth of flavor in America because America only has red bean. They only have red bean flavor or cream. If you get a cream yaki, they will have a cream flavor. But other than the fact that in Japan, I had like a mochi tasting taiyaki, that green tea flavored taiyaki.
Yeah,
I had a German tasting taiyaki. So that makes it a lot of different cases.
Yeah, there's actually a Korean frozen snack, which has ice cream and chocolate syrup, and I think sometimes strawberries as well. That's taiyaki shaped. Really, they're usually served hot, aren't they? In Japan.
The taiyaki is definitely it's definitely served hot.
Yeah.
Because you could also see them make it. There's also in Akihabara. There's also what is the octopus that that fish? No. There is in Pokemon, there's a fish that goes into being Gyarados. They have a type of taiyaki as the shape of that.
That's great.
I also forgot to. What was the last food item that you meant? Oh, the takoyaki. I forgot to show pictures of that, but it is a lot of places you get. It's easily able to get takoyaki as well.
Have you ever been able to? Have you ever gone to a street festival or?
With the mikoshi, I did. Oh God, the street festival I went to is a penis festival. The fertility festival. What?
Charlie Brown peanuts or?
No. It's a fertility festival. It's where they have the mikoshi for all the pink. It's like a big gigantic penis.
PNIS, I see now.
Venis. I saw a wooden one. I saw a pink one. It was really interesting.
It does have it.
I think that was the one. Oh, I forgot to mention. Oh my God, that was so interesting. I went with two of my friends, and there was also sugar candy in the shape of a woman's vagina and a man's, So that was interesting. Oh, and that was also one of the train ride back to Tokyo, right? It was so much people. All the skinny people nearly had to, because there were so much people crammed in.
Yeah.
It felt really, a lot of the people were like shoved right in. Like if you see in the mornings when the Tokyo station, how much people got shoved into the train station, a subway, that was like that. I saw like, I felt like women, like skinnier females were actually pushed, like lifted up to their ankles.
Oh yeah.
But,
so
a parfait. What's up?
So at that festival, the wooden one and the pink one that you mentioned, were those floats?
They were.
Okay.
What, I forgot what they're called. Mikoshi? Well, it's a Mikoshi, but the thing is that they heft it around, and so that was it.
Yeah.
That was really fun to look at. And then what was it? So I also forgot to mention this, but in Japan, all the fruits, with the exception of some fruits, is imported in. So fruits and fruits is always very expensive. It's seen as a dessert item.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, you'll see all the fruits like $400, $80, $800. Like it goes really expensive. I remember one time I went with my friends to go pick grapes, right?
Yeah.
I think a bunch of it was $80, like what we normally get for like really cheap prices here.
Yeah.
It would be like $80 there.
Oh.
And then they sell all those watermelons.
Serve each grape on a plate.
But it's really, really good. The grapes are really good there. It's really sweet. Apples are there in Japan, and watermelons are there in Japan. And I really can't pecans also. I really cannot think of anything else. Users also. But a lot of the fruits that we take for granted, like dragon fruits, apples, pears, and all that stuff, they usually import them into Japan.
Yeah.
From other countries. So
interesting.
But it's really expensive. But it's also you see that, and then it's something you end up paying for. That's why Japan is an expensive city. Japan is this expensive country to go visit.
Yeah. And so you were saying offline that the parfaits are very fruit heavy.
Fruit heavy, cream heavy, and it's not just cereal, because here I see nothing but cereal. Next, I better get through this faster.
Is that an ice cream in there?
It's ice cream. Yes, it's ice cream.
And beautiful cookies as well.
Yes, and there's Pocky, and there's like cream and sprinkles and all that stuff.
What's this down here?
I think that's it's also like a pudding of some sort. It's like strawberry jam, and it's like soaked jam, soaked strawberries.
Wow.
On the bottom.
So
next.
Yes.
Krispy Kreme and lines. This is in Shinjuku. Shinjuku is where all the foreign businesses would have places there. And you see how this is like nearing like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. There's always people queuing up.
Yeah, he can.
For Krispy Kreme. So next.
The afternoon.
Oh. Cat Cafe and rules. On the bottom is like the rules that you should not do when you're in the Cat Cafe. And it's easy to see. You don't have to read Japanese to even know what what they're supposed to enforce.
Yeah.
And so that's a Cat Cafe I went to.
Yeah, I want to go. Hang on, I want to zoom in on the. Let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to move it. So if you don't want to touch the kitty, if the kitty is arching its back and hissing, you shouldn't chase after a kitty. You should be careful when touching the belly of a kitty.
Or you should not hold you should not really pick up a kitty, like by the neck.
And this one is don't pull the tail of the kitty. Yeah, don't pull the tail. Not quite sure what's going on here. Something about the toys.
You could find toys to play with the kitty.
Yeah. And I guess that's about.
You do not hold the cat just like this. You do not hold the cat just like this. You have to hold it like as you hold a baby.
Yeah.
Right?
And then this one is like try to approach from the front and let the kitty sniff your head or whatever. Okay, thank you. Let me.
We're both cat lovers, so of course we're going to be more interested in talking about cats.
Yeah. Okay.
So next.
Hang on. Okay. There we go.
Studio Ghibli, and that's a museum. That's when you go after you buy your ticket, that's the first thing you do. And then next to it is a store in Ginza. No, wait, a store in Shinjuku. It's a department store in Shinjuku. And you see that they actually, instead of the anime inspired merch, it turned into fashion apparel.
Oh my goodness.
But you see a Sailor Moon, right? Sailor Moon has a huge amount of like really great things to be doing in Japan. Musicals, and fashion items, and even wedding styles.
Well, in fact, you can even see some Sailor Moon musicals in the States. I went to see one in New York City.
I think I did the same thing also. Or did I? I can't remember now.
Oops, I didn't mean to go that fast. Shall I move on?
That's fine. Yep, next. So this is the morning time of, I think I was like 5 a.m. I went, and of course there was already people waiting. This is the route. So you see a lot, it's not really apparent, but you could see that there's huge amount of lines, already people waiting to go into the Tokyo, into big sight.
Does not look terribly accessible for people in wheelchairs.
No, they could try and accommodate. You could try and flag down a convention person, and they will help accordingly. All right, but oftentimes, lots of parts of Japan is accessible. They are better in trying to ensure that it's more accessible. So you could always talk to me about accessibility. I love talking about accessibility. Actually, last time I went on to Japan, I took more pictures of what I saw as accessible sites, like accessible ways of traveling in Japan.
Cool.
So next to it is Tokyo Dome. Tokyo Dome is a huge convention area space. It's kind of like Madison Square Garden. But you can definitely see that the fan culture, the immense population of crowds, and this is only for one concert series.
Yeah. So it is a major site for live concerts, right?
Major venue for live concerts. It's like a stadium size.
Yeah.
And so this is one time I actually went to a concert area because my friend had asked me to go help her buy concert merchandise. Of course, there's also secondhand used stores that would sell different merchandise, so you can always go and buy merchandise if you need to. Yeah. But oftentimes if it's too popular, then you can't find it. So that's why a lot of times fans will ask other fans to go and buy merchandise for them. Yeah. So this has actually happened to be Coptoon. Johnny's, it's a Johnny's group. So I think older fans would know that this is before they broke up, all right?
So a Johnny's group is like it's a boy idol group.
It's an idol. Yep, it's a boys-based idol group. It's a talent agency. That's what they call it, a talent agency.
So it's a generic name for them, right?
Johnny's is the owner.
Oh, I see.
So he called his company Johnny's. So that's how you signal who exactly is part of the Johnny's. So he died recently, but he had churned out since the 60s. He churned out countless groups of boy groups. If you guys see, Arashi is currently one of the biggest ones. So if you're on Netflix, you get to see that they actually have a show on Netflix at this point.
My goodness.
So
Okay.
I was a huge fan of SMAP before they disbanded. That group was 25 years.
Whoa, that's a long one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
So
next
next,
one. Aha.
this happens to be a Takarazuka graduation.
Ooh.
And I was actually lucky. My friend took me to a graduation of a Takarazuka member.
Mhm.
Graduation is not the same as what they're talking about here. Graduation, if you're graduating and it's an idea in Japan, right?
Mhm.
For a talent agency, that means that they're leaving the group. They're like moving on to another thing, or they're getting married, or other things that they're for reasons of leaving the group. So
In the
as you
case
can,
of
so there's
Takara, it's more of a theater company.
So you
Not
get to see a lot more female fans with this group. So that one on the bottom right is where you get to see the fans and different levels of fans. So the more you pay for, the more you invest in a music, an act of a person in the Takarazuka, like a performer, you get to be in the front of the line or front of the place or something
Yeah.
like that. Premium, and it's everything by money, 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 money. So it's
So
very
this is actually
passionate.
outdoors, right?
It was outdoors, yeah. And it also depends. Every fan club would have a different color shirt to say what members are they part of.
Yeah.
So next. As you can mention, school trips and geisha. This is when I went to Kyoto. I went to Kyoto in May. And May they have 1 week known as Golden Week, where everyone has off. And so this is when the time that high school students would go on field trips. So as you can see over there, top left, there are schoolgirls in sailor suits.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they might be a high school group.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom right is where in Kyoto, you would see a Maiko. Maiko are trained apprentice geishas.
Yeah.
You could also typically see in Tokyo, in Japan in general, you could see people wear kimonos. So that's appropriate.
So it's still relatively common.
Very common. Next.
Yeah, so a yukata would be more of a casual.
Summer. It's a summer type of kimono. It would be more casual. It's a casual because a formal kimono has layers.
Yeah.
Has layers, and you actually take a while to dress on them.
Yes, and wrap up the obi and the waist and whatnot. Okay.
I think in conventions now you could actually buy a kimono or something like that, and you could dress with a kimono.
Yeah, very.
And, with cosplay. So I think next slide is considered to me my last slide. So I didn't have time to take a lot of of my photos because I had over 3,000 photos of what I did when I was in Japan. So this is Fushimi Inari. This is where, all the gates, the tories, these are known as tories. So I figure I'll end on that and,
Yeah.
I'm in.
So is there a large crowd at Fushimi Inari?
There is. It depends on the hours, yep. And it also depends on the day.
Is that in Kyoto?
This is in Kyoto, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted what you were going to say.
Oh, Komi, the recent volume of Komi Can't Communicate, volume 8. It talks about Komi and her class going on a school trip, and they were talking about they went on a school trip to Kyoto. Kyoto is also very close to Osaka. Osaka, you could actually do day trips to Kyoto from Osaka.
Or vice versa, I imagine.
Vice versa. And there's also in between it, there's Nara, Nara. It's where you could feed a cracker to the deers there.
Yes, I have definitely heard about that.
I've actually went and did that, and that was fun. Although the deers, they know where to get the food, so I always try to. They're overly fed by the tourists.
Yes, overly friendly too, I imagine.
Yes, it's like pigeons.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for this lovely slide. I'm going to close that out. Hang on.
And
Share. And
okay.
there are a few other sites that I was thinking of showing if you're up for it.
I'm up for it.
Okay, so there's so of course there are, when you go to Japan as an anime or manga fan, you're going to want to visit sites connected with your favorite anime. And so, hang on, open, just click on it, Sarah. Isn't it? No. There we go.
I also forgot to do this. I've also forgot to talk about onsen and sento culture.
Okay, yeah, maybe after this you can do that. Okay, I'm about to share. There we go. So there's this concept called anime pilgrimage, and the term Seichi Junrei, I think it means pilgrimage, just regular pilgrimage, but it can also apply to visiting the sites of that are featured in shows or stories, manga or novels that you love. So a sacred site pilgrimage is the original meaning. And someone who engages in it is called a Seichi Junreisha. But there's also a more specific kind of pilgrimage called Butai Tanbo, which is a disciplined practice, reading from here, that generally involves searching for locations without pre-existing guides or references, taking photographs precisely composed to match the cuts from the work as closely as possible. And it usually describes investigative work that happens concurrently with or soon after the initial broadcasting or screening of new works. So that's a lot more, I mean, with the general anime pilgrimage, you're just following up on the work other people have done, which would include the work done by Butai Tanbo. And this website, likeafishinwater.com, has this article, which I think is a work in progress, so it might be worth returning to sometime. Now going back to this for a second.
Last time.
Yeah.
So last time I actually was in Japan, I actually unofficially did anime pilgrimages in Tokyo itself.
Yeah.
But I also went to paper stores because that was what my friend had made before he passed. So I went and I did a paper pilgrimage for him.
Yeah. Okay, so there are Sailor Moon real life locations, and this is a guide to them. You can see that. Of course, in something like Hebrew no Go, there's the actual Go Institute that they go in and out of. And interesting. So yes, so a lot of these are relatively faithfully rendered. So
Azubu, the neighborhood that Sailor Moon does take place is a more wealthier area. It's close to Tokyo Tower, actually. So it's one of the more older neighborhoods in Japan, but it's like pretty wealthy. People who live there are pretty wealthy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So Natsume Yujincho, Natsume's Book of Friends, which is one of my favorite anime and manga, is set in Kumamoto in the Hitoyoshi area. And so there's now a lot of, I mean, it definitely shows a lot of different scenes like this one. And this one is featured in the actual, one of the opening scenes, opening songs. And yes, other train stations, there's a lot of train stations in there. The Tengu Bridge, that's so gorgeous. rice
It
terraces,
is gorgeous.
castle ruins, castle history museum, and there's even a gift shop.
Yeah, of course, gift shop. Always the gift shop.
And as it says, the author is known to be from Kumamoto Prefecture, and so it's not surprising that it features these sites. Let's see, what else? Come on, come back. There we go. This one talks about some of the older anime series and what they feature.
Captain Tsubasa. They're all Rumiko Takahashi type series.
Yeah.
At least two of them is.
Yeah,
Captain Tsubasa is another one.
Yeah. So that's a major soccer one. Then there's
Death Note.
Yeah, so these are actually links to guides for to visit. Great Teacher Onizuka, most mainly located in Kichijoji. Gundam.
Kichijoji is a hipster place. It's a hipster place right now.
And Gundam has a strong connection to Kami-Igusa in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And Maison Ikoku, the Rumiko Takahashi title, which is set in, I guess, in the 80s in a lodging house, an old-fashioned lodging house, is set in this neighborhood called Higashi Kurume. But it says that various views of the anime/manga are unfortunately disappearing over the years, which is not surprising. And Ranma 1/2 is mostly in the Nerima ward.
I passed by the Nerima ward a couple of different times. I didn't stop by because I knew that a lot of sites I see is not going to probably be there. Japanese culture have a thing where they actually destroy buildings every like 50 years or so because of earthquakes. They have to keep on destroying and they have to keep on rebuilding new. Plus, earthquakes actually do destroy buildings, hence that's why. And a lot of the older buildings are made out of wood.
Yeah.
So they have to, that's why a lot of places are disappearing.
Yeah. Think of the fire that destroyed Tokyo in 1923. It was a huge, had a huge effect. But also, I went to a presentation at a convention talking about history, and it talked about how writers in the Edo period would talk about the red flowers of Edo, and that was actually meant the fires that happened all the time in Edo. So here's another site with more titles featured. Actually, it goes by the neighborhood and says which anime are there. So including Ponyo, Steins Gate, and Akihabara.
Lucky Star.
Lucky Star.
Lucky Star is a meta series. I liked it a lot when it was airing.
And Your Name.
Yeah, Himi no Namae.
Yeah.
Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah, and the island of Yakushima for Princess Mononoke. And there's a specific onsen that was used for Spirited Away. So this is the anime version, and here's the actual version. So
minus all the other sideway buildings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little different. But I love that tree, for example. Yeah, but very cool. So those were the main topics that I wanted to cover. Any final words? Excuse me. Too popular for
Did we talk about the cat island?
The cat. We did mention it briefly.
Okay.
And there was a link, I think. Let's go see that link if we can find it.
So I do have to say this because this is these two episodes of 10 and 10.5 are really link heavy. I will be putting it all in the notes so you guys could actually click on it and explore it. Same thing with my PowerPoint slide. As long as I get it up.
Where did the cat? The cat islands go.
It's on the bottom.
On the bottom.
The bottom.
All right,
Mhm.
there's actually a top 3 of cat islands in Japan.
Yeah,
But
there
one
is
of them
top
is
three.
no longer as much of a.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've got Aoshima, which it says might be the most famous cat island in Japan. Look at all those kitties.
So a lot of times in Japan, right, a lot of buildings will not allow cats. They would, a lot of people, they also, Japanese people also don't have the practice of rescuing cats. There's no a lot of rescue cats. So they all go to the pet store to buy cats and
Yeah,
dogs.
which
So
is a pity.
that's not a great thing, but you
Yeah.
know.
So Aoshima is not really oriented to the tourists.
It is not.
No, but then we've, and here they even have a travel schedule for getting to Aoshima.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then there's, I think this is probably the best known, Tashirojima.
Mhm.
Which
There's
has,
also because there's a cat isle, there's a cat state, there's a station, there's an Eki station
yeah.
that had a cat conductor. Okay,
Mhm.
recently that cat actually did pass away, but the thing is that the station actually kept on the tradition of having a cat in
Yes,
that station as a station master.
yes, indeed. I remember hearing
Forgot what
about
that was calling about.
that.
I was actually contemplating a visit last time, but my friend said, don't bother. They said
Yeah.
it's in the middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
But you could actually do a lot of train tours. If you are a train fan, you would be able to do a
Oh,
train
yes.
tour fan. Mhm.
In fact, there's one of the characters in Princess Jellyfish is a train fanatic.
Yeah.
So it on Tashirojima, there's a cat shrine, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
And actually, Enoshima used to be more of a cat area, but it says that yeah, it's now not so much.
Not so much, yeah.
But so they added a different one, which is Manabeshima in Okayama Prefecture.
Mhm. Mhm. So a lot of different prefectures in Japan, right?
Yeah.
They also wanted to get tourists. So a lot of them have different mascots. So they're trying to pull on the cute card, either
Oh,
their
yeah.
food, special free foods, or their mascots. And there's a couple of ones I really like to look at.
Oh, a bunny cafe.
Yeah, there is. Anyhow, I don't know. It's 11:56, so in
Time for us to
about
wrap
4 minutes, it
Yeah.
is time for us to wrap up. I hope that you guys enjoy these 2 episodes
Yeah.
about me rambling about Japan, me and Sarah rambling about Japan.
Yeah.
My own experiences and plus Sarah's planning to go
Yes,
experiences.
someday.
So,
One area that I do want to go in Japan is kind of go on a pilgrimage to both Hiroshima and Nagasaki in commemoration of the damage that my country did there. But
also, be sure to stop by Miyajima.
okay, what's going on with Miyajima?
Oh no, it's like if you go to Hiroshima, you have to go to Miyajima because it's the island with that big gigantic torii. That's all.
Okay, that sounds very cool.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week with more. Bye. またね。気をつけてね。
気をつけて。